on now.
I'm looking it up right now.
Oh, another thing that wigged me out was the live action actor portraying that scientist.
That was a little jilted. Like, what was going on there?
It's like some next gen era, like Star Trek Next Generation era.
Yeah.
Like, he's the hologram of
it
the
looked
person.
like Doctor Who was hanging out.
A
like,
little bit. They styled
doctors.
John Oort after one of the... Oh, make him one of the doctors. But at the same time, it seems like they were sort of experimenting with a couple different... Like, well, we only have 13 episodes. Let's just kind of throw everything at it and see what sticks.
Don't we have representations of this guy? Like, pictures of the actual guy that we could bring up and lightly animate?
I will say that this was by far the most cohesive.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Like, it was just one subject. You know what I'm saying? And maybe because... You know, Neil was all about like we're like one episode we have to talk about Newton. Yeah, like it's
fair. And they really did narrow.
It was it was really succinct.
This was also an episode that didn't really have the love letter to Sagan really like there. It wasn't like there in the same way that it was in the last episode or in the episode before where he has the physical reminders of Sagan. So this one was more about like this was more of a love letter to Newton's insanity.
Yeah, it's all a love letter.
Any bitch moments? Any
portrait burning?
Yeah.
Well, that was Newton's bitch moment.
Yeah,
and by
but
the way,
still counts.
Speaking of the cheesy animation, like when he took it off the wall, all of a sudden the shadow still traveled with the portrait.
Yeah.
Like just as an animator, or not as an animator, but as somebody who has directed and forced animators to work, like just flip the fucking picture over. You don't even have to draw anything after that.
That's the only way it will work, is if we're forced to. We're notoriously a superstitious and lazy lot. I think, though, that was a stylistic thing because as there was no surviving representation of Robert Hooke, they had to keep everything, like, you know, kind of muddled. Even the shots of him pacing back and forth were from a three-quarter back shot.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of a little jab
and
when the shadow followed the... even the shadow is following the portrait.
And it all...
I kind of liked it.
Here's what I thought every time Hook was on screen. Hook, show us the hook. No one else? No one? Anyone?
No, I thought of like, God, like those cliche characters that have actually been done in South Park. Like, you want the West Wing, go to the mountain, you know, those characters.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it goes down that road.
Yeah, no, it goes down that road.
Well, that was the problem. Like, how do you tell this story without either animating it or just looking at Neil deGrasse Tyson talking? You know what I'm saying? Right. Or like maybe acting it out. Like that's what I thought they were gonna do because they showed that guy.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, they're gonna like live reenact it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No, they were just experimenting with CNN's election coverage, hologram, kind of like, hey, let's try this. Oh, it didn't work on CNN.
The guy even had a hat. Like I almost expected.
No,
him
yeah,
to
that
pull
guy
out a
was.
pipe.
Yeah.
I'm a science man. How doing science?
That's
they
how
tended
all
to wear
science.
He responded to the casting call. He
right.
like,
No, that was actually probably one of the interns. That, yeah, let's put you in a hat in the scarf.
Oh man, do I have to?
Yes, you want to be in science, don't you?
This will be a great resume pattern.
All white scientists look
So I get
alike.
to stand near Neil deGrasse Tyson? No, you're going to be filmed somewhere else.
We're not going to.
I want to be near Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Anything else to note? Did he travel anywhere in his spaceship this time?
Just through time a little bit, showed our ancient ancestors, but
and out to the Oort cloud.
yeah, we did go through the Oort cloud.
Yeah.
Which we have never seen. Nobody has ever seen.
Correct.
But we got all the evidence in the world to back it up.
I don't think it's real.
Right,
and then
I mean, Hallie. Well, the whole thing with the comet. You know what I'm saying? Like the comet, like.
That was his bitch moment.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was his bitch moment. Like nobody's ever done prophecy before until a scientist. Boom!
There is hardly a prophecy attempted by the mystics that ever even strives for comparable precision.
Bitch!
Does the fact that most of us know the names of mass murderers, but never heard of Jan Oort, say anything about us?
And they needed Newton's theory of gravity to like. They're like, we know that these things circle around the sun, but like how? Like these elliptical orbits. Like how do they maintain all this stuff? And
Newton's just like, hold on, I got the notes.
He's like, I got it.
I got the notes here. Fuck it, I'll just write it again. Click.
Yeah, you had to redo it from memory. I invented calculus here.
Yeah.
No big. Well, why didn't you tell us before? Well, because of Hook, and he took my stuff, and you can't blame him. It's like a guy keeps kyping your hard work.
Yeah.
it's like I don't really want to.
I think it's worth noting though, Newton could have easily died going down as just a whiny bitch who never showed his work to anybody.
He's a college dropout.
Yeah.
Bad student.
And what was that institute? The
Royal Society of
They shot their wad on fish book.
I want to see that. I want to see that book.
Yeah.
Is that book still around?
They paid him in fish books. Like
the history of fish, which was apparently beautifully illustrated, completely comprehensive, and they blew their wad, and they couldn't pay Halley to have Newton, put forth the Principia Mathematica, so they paid him in these worthless books the history of fish.
But you know what? It plays in nicely because Halley did invent the diving bell, so all tied together.
Invent it. He made one, and he made awesome improvements on it. Though.
Oh, okay, but still,
and which led to later a commercial salvage operation.
Sell a fish
one of the coolest things was the Milky Way galaxy and the Andromeda galaxy. Like they showed like
my god,
in a billion years how they're gonna like basically
that was tier worthy. That was tier worthy.
It's a dance. It's a cosmic dance.
They're gonna collide, and most likely nothing's gonna hit each other because there's so much space.
It's awesome.
So much space.
Interestingly enough, the Oort cloud, every comet is as far away from each other as well as the Earth is from Saturn. And yet it's this incredibly, if you look at it from, it's kind of like the Andromeda and Milky Way galaxies. By the way, did anyone else get upset when they found out the Andromeda galaxy is slightly bigger than the Milky Way galaxy?
No, I'm okay with that.
I'm a little bit of a size
Queens.
Can you say I'd like to take that back right now. We can edit this out, right? All right.
We're not going to edit outside.
Nope. All right. I was a little disappointed to find out that the Andromeda galaxy is somewhat larger than this one. It was just... Yeah.
But we're going to collide, but nothing will touch, or most likely nothing will touch. That blows my mind.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a metaphor to handle it, but I can't.
There isn't. It's just,
I think actually what struck me about one thing is that the comet of 1664, when, that followed quickly by the plague and the Great Fire of London, it was looked upon as this terrible, omen in the sky. And the one guy who, as a kid, had absolutely no fear of it was Halley. And a large part of that was because his dad inculcated in him this wonder and just sort of nourished and allowed him to gave him a telescope and really encouraged his wonder and his exploration of this. And sometimes it just takes one parent, or in the case of Newton and Edmund Halley, just one friend, on that, because Newton's stuff would have just stayed in, as far as we know, just stayed in anonymity with him at that point. He was just kind of skulking around Cambridge.
Right.
But it took Edmund Halley, just like it took Edmund Halley's dad, to kind of bring him out and bring that out. And it really spoke to just how one little thing, one person, one friend, can just change the course of events.
Right.
Hell's bells.
Hell's bells.
Jibbity jokers.
Jibbity
Come with me if you want to live.